So I have a little bit of personal news here. This was something. I woke up yesterday, and, one of the first things I do when I wake up is I go right to Twitter because I have to be plugged in all day, constantly looking for news stories and videos and things of that nature that I can present to you lovely people here on this show. So I wake up, go to my Twitter app, and I'm locked out. I was like, well, what? What the hell is this? So the thing that popped up on screen, and I did a post about this on YouTube that you guys can go see. I show all the screenshots of everything that I was reading, and I, put a little explanation there. But the gist of what happened is Twitter says I violated the Twitter rules. And the specifics are, here, I'll read it. Violating our rules against posting media depicting gratuitous gore. Huh? So they say, you may not share excessively graphic media, and the examples they give are severe injury and torture. Exposure to gratuitous gore can be harmful, especially if the content is posted with intent to delight in cruelty or for sadistic pleasure. Now, I'll get to the tweet. I know a lot of you guys probably know it by now, but I'll tell you what I said, which is allegedly falling under this category, stress allegedly. So they locked my account. They locked my They locked my account, and I was unable. I wasn't even. I know they have different kinds of like punishments on Twitter. I wasn't even put in like a 6-hour, 7-hour timeout or 12-hour timeout. I wasn't even put in like incognito mode where I'm not allowed to post, but I can still scroll and read stuff. I was just flat out locked out of the account. Now, they did say this was a quote-unquote first offense, I guess. So what they did say is, look, you can, if you delete the tweet, you just get access back to your Twitter account right away. Now, the reason why, there are a number of reasons why I was hesitant to do that, but one of my concerns is, well, if I delete the tweet, they say it's an admission of guilt, it's an admission of wrongdoing, and I don't know what kind of system Twitter has, but is it a 3-strike system? Is it a 5-strike system? If I say I did something wrong when I didn't, am I getting closer to that threshold when I didn't really do anything wrong? Now, of course, that's the other reason why I didn't want to delete any tweets, because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't violate their policy under any reasonable interpretation of their policy, and so as a matter of principle, almost, I wanted to be like, no, take care of this. So what I did is the classic thing you would do, and I appealed. And now here's where we hit another speed bump. This is a real roadblock, actually. I appeal it, and then I start looking up, well, how long does an appeal take? And I got answers all over the map. So the best answer that I got was, well, within 48 hours. Whoa. I don't have 48 hours to spare. I got a show to do. And all of my material that I have already stored for the show is on Twitter. Like, as I see stuff, I go, I'm going to cover that, I'm going to cover that, I'm going to cover that. And I store it all somewhere on Twitter. And I can't access it unless I get into my account specifically. So I'm like, 48 hours? I don't have 48 hours. Now, but some things said, oh, forget 48 hours. Sometimes they take weeks. Sometimes they take months to get back to you. And some people even said they just never got back to me. What? What? Now, I don't know what the truth is. I have no idea. But I'm also going to guess that I'm probably lower priority because 98% of the time when somebody's in this situation, they just delete the tweet. So these sorts of like, hey, if you delete the tweet, you can just get your Twitter account back. My guess is that's low on the priority list compared to people who are like permanently suspended or whatever it might be. But then on the flip side, you might say, hey, maybe I'm not a lower priority because I have the verification badge, and maybe Twitter has some sort of elitist system where if you have a verification badge, there's like an express lane or something for them to review your stuff. I don't know. But anyway, I appealed the tweet. And I spent yesterday, I had a bunch of stuff I had to do. I was taking care of business. And I gave them a solid 8-9 hours, probably maybe 10. And I didn't get anything back. So I was put in a position where it was like, okay, I either like miss a show, because again, I need access to my specific Twitter account to get all my stuff, which I had scheduled for the show for you guys. I had planned for the show for you guys. It's either I axe the show for today, or I just bite the bullet and delete the tweet. And even though it felt really shitty, man. Because I have this weird principled thing where I don't delete tweets. You guys know I got all my very famous decades old tweets that I didn't delete them because I feel like people have a right to see the stuff I said and how sometimes I'm a jackass and sometimes I'm a shit poster and whatever. I feel like it's the right thing to do yeah, I said that shit and it's documented. And so it's staying up, right? So I have this weird thing where I don't like to delete tweets, but I was put in a position where I felt like I really have, if I want to do the show, which I have to do the show, I really want to do the show, then I have no choice. So I had to delete the tweet. So now finally, let's get to what the hell was the tweet? Well, the tweet was me saying 2015 was 7 years ago, dog, because I had saw something on TV that it said like, the year 2015 and they were showing something. And I stopped and I thought, and I was like, I did the math and I was like, 2015 was 7 years ago. 2015 does not feel like 7 years ago. It feels like it was last year, 2 years ago, whatever. Feels very recent, to me at least. You guys might feel different. I felt like, holy cow, that's crazy. 2015 was 7 years ago. So I tweeted 2015 was 7 years ago. And then I posted that GIF, whatever you guys like to say. I used to say GIF, now I say GIF, of that guy. I don't know what it's from. I don't know what movie it's from. I don't know what show it's from. But it's that guy whose head explodes. Now, it's not a real head exploding. Like, this isn't actual violence. It's like a doll whose head explodes. And there's like, fake red blood that goes everywhere. And this is extra perplexing because I've posted this before and never had an issue. And then other people I saw were posting it too. And they don't have an issue. In fact, I think it's one of Twitter approves GIFs. Correct me on that if I'm wrong, guys. But I saw a bunch of people posting it. It's relatively commonly used. And so I'm like, what? So other people can use it, it's fine. I've used it in the past, it's fine. It's not real, it's fake. It's from like a movie or a TV show. By no stretch of the imagination is this excessively graphic media. It's not severe injury or torture, and it's certainly not delighting in cruelty and sadistic pleasure. It's a joke tweet. The point was serious of like, damn, 2015 was 7 years ago? That's crazy. But the thing is like, oh my God, my mind's exploding at that. And I got locked out of my account for it. By the way, there's an emoji that shows that. Like, I get it. That doesn't look as real as the fake head exploding, but the idea is the exact same. Mind blown, right? So anyway, what a stupid system Twitter has set up, man. What a terrible system. Why on earth should that have been something that got me locked out of my account for, threw a massive wrench in my day? Because you know what? If I wasn't locked out of my account, I was up. I was going to start prepping for today's show in the morning. And I would have done a whole bunch of further prep, and I would have actually taken the stories and converted them into whatever videos I need and whatever notes I need, etc. I wasn't able to do that, and I sat around waiting for 8, 9, 10 hours, all because of some nonsense, flagging of a tweet of mine. Now, I've heard theories. Lilith reached out and said, hey, some people who are listeners to the show think maybe it was like some sort of bot farm that mass flagged a tweet or something. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. But what I do know is it's total bullshit because, and this was what I said in my YouTube post on it, this is at the same time, there's a war going on in Ukraine and people are posting videos of actual violence. I mean, they're all over Twitter. You've seen them. I've seen them. We've covered some of them. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that to say ban their stuff and leave my stuff up. No, I'm happy that they're allowing up the stuff that's happening in the war in Ukraine because that's important. It's real. People have a right to see what's going on and you get more educated. And even if it's, sometimes hard to watch, you should watch it. There was a Chinese plane crash yesterday where the thing fucking nosedived right out of the sky and crashed into a mountain and killed over 100 people. That video was on Twitter. The video of the nosediving plane that crashes. So you're seeing the exact moment that people die. I mean, we don't even have to talk about how the tower's coming down and the plane's hitting the towers. That's been on the news. That's been little Twitter clips on Twitter. But a fake head exploding crosses a line. So look, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know if they have some sort of 3-strike system, 5-strike system, whatever. Ultimately, I would like to have my Twitter record cleared, but it seems fruitless at this point and seems maybe not even possible because I felt like I had to delete the tweet in order to do the show, and I fucking hated doing that. It felt so shitty. It's like, it's like you're kowtowing to a broken system. Now, there are people who will say, look, this is why you got to use this platform or that platform or that platform. Guys, I love you, but you have to understand this problem is bigger than just competition can solve it. It is. It really is. This is something that we have effectively the new public squares with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and the very big social media outlets. They're like the new public squares. And you can try to compete with the behemoths, but let's be real, the market share of these other companies trying to compete is infinitesimally small. And, especially for me, I know a lot of Twitter accounts that have good material that I use for the show. Every news outlet under the sun, I follow like every news outlet under the sun. They're all on Twitter. I don't know if they're on the competitors. And it's not as simple as like, well, just use this other platform. Because it's like, well, that other platform isn't as good, doesn't have nearly as many people, and I can't get nearly the amount of content. So it's bigger than that. The real solution is to regulate the big social media outlets like they're public utilities. And thereby expanding First Amendment protections so we don't run into stuff like this. Now, that doesn't mean that you can do targeted harassment and direct threats of violence and libel and defamation. Those things are illegal under U.S. law, and they wouldn't be allowed on any sort of free speech protected platform, even under that situation where you regulate like a public utility. But we should still lean as heavily on the side of free speech as possible. And then I'll also say this, because I found this astonishing, but there were some people who were replying to what I was going through here, and it was, it's like the most uneducated and ignorant response you can imagine. People saying like, well, what goes around comes around. This is the system that you created. This is the system that you built. This is what you've advocated for. Excuse me? I'm Kyle Kulinski. I'm the secular talk dude. I'm the dude who oftentimes takes heat from my own audience because I'm so much of a free speech bro and a free speech absolute. I've defended the most odious of odious figures. But you have people, I assume, who are conservative, who look at me, they go, I know he's a lefty, and now he's complaining about censorship. Well, where were you before? I was right here, bitch. I was right here. And so it's just amazing to me because what these people are doing is that rank partisan hackery. They just assume it's just tribalism. They assume, oh, he's a lefty, therefore he had to argue for censorship. And everybody knows I've been the most consistent on this of anybody on the right or the left. And so it's just amazing to me that people can, it's like you get typecast as one thing or another thing in their mind, and then like they just project onto you everything they think you believe, It's like, well, I've seen this before. This person's a lefty, and lefties believe X, Y, and Z. And it's like, hey, dipshit, how about you actually listen to the show, and then you understand what my actual positions are, and then you react to that. But no, of course, it's too easy to just be like, we got one, boys. And it's like, you're the thing that you claim to despise. You claim the lefties are just tribalists and partisan hacks. But then you're doing the partisan hackery. You're doing the tribalism. Lefty got banned. Yes, what goes around comes around. You had it coming. You had it coming. Why'd you advocate for censorship that you definitely didn't advocate for at all, ever? Unbelievable, man. Just, god damn it. So ignorant. Anyway, so yeah, Twitter, get your fucking shit together, man. It's amazing because if something like this gets flagged and locks an account, Twitter is just... like, what are they other than an overbearing parent with a censorship trigger finger? This is overbearing parent shit. I don't know, little Timmy. That gift sure has a lot of fake blood in it. You're punished. Go to your room. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not having a good go of it recently, am I, guys? We had YouTube banned my coverage of Trump talking to the Nelk boys. Remember that? He had a podcast that was pulled because he advocated, the rigged election theory in there. And I covered that podcast, but I didn't cover the rigged election part. But number one, the Nelk boys copyright strike me. Like they said, we're going to jack the revenue for this. That's what they did. And then after it had been up for 2-3 days or whatever, Twitter just block the entire video, because my guess is they said anything from that podcast now gets pulled. It doesn't even have to be the part where Trump talks about the rigged election. So that was censored by YouTube. You have one of my Joe Rogan podcasts was pulled down from Spotify because in that episode, Joe was quoting something Kanye West said, and he said Nigga. He said the N-word with the A at the end. They banned the entire podcast as a result of that. And now Twitter locks me out. I mean, look, again, if you guys don't see the slippery slope here, if you guys don't see the problem, I don't know what to tell you. Because, I think this is just the beginning. I really do. I think it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And it sucks. And I don't see any solutions other than the main thing I'm advocating for, which is regulate these social media companies like their public utilities and expand First Amendment protections. But unfortunately, we're getting the libertarian solution, which is a non-solution, which is like, let's just have these things compete and do really shitty in the competition and get nowhere near it. There you have it. Your boy's getting slapped around by social media. So anyway, if you like the show, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment. That helps out in the algorithm. And I say that, but then on the other hand, it's like, if they really drop the hammer on me, all that stuff will be naught anyway, because we'll be kicked off various platforms. But while we're here, please do me a favor and like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter for as long as I will be around on Twitter, till they drop the axe on me because I make a fart joke or something. And yeah, anyway, there we are. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.